All right, everyone, welcome back into another props video. Give me a touch on the top prop bets that we have available today on both PrizePicks and Underdog. But first, I want to start out with a quick update that I made to the 9-to-5 PrizePicks and Underdog cheat. So yesterday, I had mentioned that I had pushed this update on the 9-to-5 PrizePicks and Underdog cheat sheet view. And so pretty much what you do is you click on this. This is going to be EV only. I'm going to add in middling under this as well, and then just like total edge, which is something that you guys have been familiar with. The EV only is just showing you guys the average sportsbook line and comparing that around the PrizePicks line. Now, I do have that included for the Underdog line as well. We can see we are getting some pretty darn good props in general. This is kind of a quick view. It's not going to be a detailed view per se, especially with NBA where, you know, we can look at averages and whatnot, DVP and whatnot. I have also done this for Underdog as well. Okay, so it's a quick way to get in there and just look at which prop bets are currently the best prop bets on the day. And part of the reason why I did this and wanted to do this is I know I had been a little bit struggling when like Underdog would drop a free square, you know, where you have an hour to figure out which bet you want to make with that free square or discounted square. And so this is just boom, pull it up and you're good to go. I guess instead of a cheat sheet, it could be referred to as an optimizer. All in all, I'm excited. But let's go ahead and start out with today's NBA game. We have one game. It's going to be the Pacers versus the Lakers. And I don't know about you guys, but I feel like the Pacers winning this now would be a very good win, a very big W for the in-season tournament, because I think we all know when the real playoffs come around, all in all, they aren't going to be a fact. It's a fun story. Clearly, these players had something to play for, and they did. Looking at the injury report again with the Lakers, I don't think we're worried about the Lakers and the injury. That's just what they've been doing. For the Pacers, Andrew Nembhard is out, okay? And we also have seen Jalen Smith be out for quite some time. Now, Nembhard being out is actually kind of, I don't want to say kind of a big deal, but a little bit of a big deal. Like TJ McConnell probably going to shift up into some more minutes there. I think that's what we can expect. But actually, that's interesting. So looking at the minutes report, not really at all, actually. So Nembhard 14 minutes, 5 minutes, 23 minutes. That kind of has led to Bruce Brown getting some more run. And then maybe just Buddy Hield cementing his minutes and really just Halliburton's not leaving the court. So that's kind of interesting there. So right now, the actual best prop bet that we are currently getting is going to be Buddy Hield. But I want to go back real quick into the game preview. The line on the game for the over and under being correct is very crucial. We saw the last couple of games for the Pacers, that has not been the case where the line had been that high. The Bucks, and I think maybe it was the Hawks I'm thinking of, but anyways, the last two times where we've had similar situations like this, the under like hit by like 30 points or so. So this number is very much predicated on the Lakers doing well. Now, both teams have been playing really well. Like it makes sense. Buddy Hield, for example purposes, pull him up. He averages about 19.1 points and rebounds and assists on the season. A little bit of a pace up spot as they have been in. The projection data doesn't exactly love it per se. All in all, though, you give him maybe a little bit extra run like we have seen. He's the one that should benefit the most from that. Then he should, get a couple more shots up. And that's where, maybe in a game stack, we can include this one. To me, maybe a little bit too thin, but we can see the average sportsbook line, one line is pretty much saying he's going to get 21.5, where the rest of them are basically saying 21 should be where it's at. From there, we're seeing Halliburton for over 2.5 turnover. Definitely an interesting one there. We'll take a peek at this. And yeah, not pulling in like turnover data just yet. We'll see. But with the increase in minutes, that's really what I want to see here, about 37. And we saw a couple of games like 40 minutes or so. Yeah, he should really be able to crush this. And that's a weird way to phrase that. But with that increase in usage, you would expect the turnovers to hit. What's interesting, though, it's matched with the Lakers. You typically don't view them as a team, a strong defensive team. And it's kind of fascinating. Like no turnovers here, no turnovers here against Miami 2, 3 against Portland. Like sure, the increased usage of minutes that he's been getting, you would think that he would get more turnovers. So I don't know. I'm kind of fascinated by why this line is there. All in all, it's a good EV bet. Like we probably should roll with it. Vegas knows a lot more than we do, especially for prop bets like this. But I did find that fascinating. Another one, we got Bruce Brown for over 4.5 rebounds, 54% chance to hit. And we can see basically all the data points are suggesting that this one should be a close one there for Bruce Brown. Now it's frustrating. I think in the last game, this over and under was set like 5.5, only got 3 there. And that I guess is a little bit of a concern. It's kind of the hit or miss nature of this prop bet. But all in all, he's someone that does average 4.5 rebounds on the season. As long as the minutes are there, he should be good to go. Now, I don't really know why he only played 28 minutes in that last game. Maybe it was a matchup-based thing. I didn't really see why, but we can see basically every other single game he's gotten like 36 or so minutes, and that's really what we're banking on here is those minutes being there like they have been. And that's what's kind of crazy. Literally, the 3 best prop bets that we are getting for this game are all Pacers props. Like we have to scroll down pretty far to get to one good prop bet that we have for the Lakers. That's LeBron for under rebounds and assists. So as you guys can probably see, like not the best for the Lakers right now. Now, I do think LeBron is in a good spot to crush. You look at that matchup against the Pelicans. He dominated, and so did really the Lakers. I think it's worth calling out their minutes in that game, guys. Only 23 minutes. I think if this game is close, we're going to see both LeBron and AD play closer to 40 minutes, which is way higher than their norm. And so to me, that's where if you are playing this game at all, I think like betting the over here does make a ton of sense, especially in a pace-up spot for them. And like AD really should be able to crush in this matchup going against Miles Turner. For what it's worth, Miles Turner does draw a good matchup. I just don't know if I want to chase that too much. But yeah, for both LeBron and Anthony Davis, their lines to me seem to be a little bit too low, just given the assumed minutes that they're going to get. Obviously we hope that the game stays close, and I think that he'll be able to crush. So let's pull up LeBron just to see if we are getting one really good bet for him that stands out. I don't want to do rebounds and assists for under. You could potentially do points. You can see Underdog is bumped up to 29.5. Maybe there's something there. Rebounds and assists you could do as well. Let's see points, rebounds, and assists. Maybe the lowest there in terms of probability. I mean, that is a 50-50 split pretty much. Maybe just points and assists is the best one to go with for this game. And let's take a peek at Anthony Davis here, guys. Seemingly gets a good matchup. You could do points. That has about a 52% chance to hit points and assists. How many assists has he been averaging lately? Let's take a peek at that. 5, 1, 3. Averages 3 on the season. So yeah, all in all, given the matchup, given the game, given the likelihood of him playing more minutes, I'd be fine betting the over points and assists for him. But for me, I think I kind of just want to ride the hot hand with him with the rebounds here. We'll see. Guys, I can almost bet that PrizePicks is going to put this out as a tweet because they've been doing this lately. It's like, will the hot streak continue for Anthony Davis? And it's kind of misleading because people like just assume that you should be betting the over when really they're just putting it out there for content purposes. So it's kind of funny. I don't mind it. Like the over slightly is favored there. Definitely an interesting one. So if you are looking for just a game stack bet for this game, this would be it. We're taking the 3 good EV bets that we have for the Pacers. All in all, I mean, this one does feel a little bit ugly, but really that's the best percent likelihood for a prop bet to hit. Buddy Hield, chance of that one being a push. I always don't love to chase that, but all in all, not a terrible one. And then Anthony Davis rebounds, really, I think he's going to have a good game. I probably will be chasing this fantasy score prop if or when they put that one out there, just because he's been someone that has been getting a ton of blocks and steals, and then tack on some rebounds, and he's not getting that many turnovers. That's a prop bet that I think I'll like. And then LeBron, I think he's going to continue to be successful. This was the best prop bet for him on the slate. But now let's go ahead and get into some other bets that we have available today across the various sports. There's a lot of college basketball going on right now, so I want to touch on that. So let's take a peek here, guys. For college basketball, we are seemingly getting some decent edges for some fantasy score props, and let's just kind of walk through maybe the reasons as to why. So we got Graham Ike for under fantasy score. That one's being kind of heavily favored, but I do want to call it the projection data really likes the over here, so it does give me a little bit of concern there. And I think we could probably see why like the data points are a little bit different. Again, like with college basketball, these are ones where you're either getting a really big edge on PrizePicks or you're losing a big edge, it seems like. And that kind of seems to be the case with this because it's tough to predict. Where NBA data-wise, it's the most easy to just look at the data, or it's the most easy to predict for the data. College basketball should be, but there's just not enough data points going into it. And so that's where we see a little bit of kind of a roller coaster ride. So I could kind of see why there is a differentiation there. And my guess is that projection data likes them to get a lot of blocks and steals, whereas probably the average sportsbook line is not really saying that, or PrizePicks as well. So all in all, not terrible. We got Ballo here for under fantasy score as well, with a strong likelihood to hit, and both data points are agreeing with this. For what it's worth, I'll pull up Graham Mike here. We can see that the minutes have been really sporadic for him, and so that almost does seem to be like a thing where maybe the minutes just continue not to be there for him, and the under just hits very easily. And now we look at the next one here. Again, kind of a minutes thing, it seems like, where the minutes haven't exactly been there for him. You look at the match with the Wisconsin Badgers, a pace down spot seemingly, and so I can see where the data is kind of favoring the under here. These are two big, and obviously with bigs you do worry about a lot of blocks and maybe some steals, really elevating that fantasy score. But all in all, I can kind of see why the data would be favoring the under. Now Wisconsin does kind of run out to, I don't want to call them bigs, but bigger players, forwards, if you will, and Stephen Kral and Tyler Wall. But all in all, this is probably a concern. I'm going to go on to PJ Hall for over fantasy points here. This is seemingly probably the best one on the board. I want to take a peek at it, though. At 37.5, the projection data likes the over there. The average sportsbook line would like the over there as well. And with him, it's kind of the opposite, where the minutes have been there for him, and he has really just been crushing a lot lately. Not getting too many turnovers in the sense that he has been getting some blocks and some steals to really negate any of the turnovers that he has been getting. He has really just been crushing, and we can see that in the game log is truly just been crushing. Continuing on, we got a few more. I kind of just want to touch on all these that have a 54% likelihood to hit. Now, if you didn't want to use fantasy score, guys, just to kind of speed up as well, we got Kobe Johnson for over points. That's a good EV bet. We have Dre Davis for under 5 rebounds. Now, all in all, it's being favored as a push. Tyson for over 2.5 assists is a good EV bet, as is Harris for over 2.5 rebounds. Those are going to be good EV bets for you guys. But let's continue on. I want to take a peek at some more of these fantasy score props because we are seemingly getting an edge. And for me, I think it's a good process to kind of look at why prop bet may be favoring the under or the over. It's just something that I like to see. So we got Aaron Estrada going against Purdue. Obviously, Purdue's a pretty good team, pretty good defensive team as well. We can see with him, you know, the turnover to like blocks and steal ratio, it does seem to be, it tends to either be a push or maybe a slight edge there, not getting too many assists. Very much shot dependent. And so I kind of get why the under would be favored here. We got a couple more that I want to mention. We'll do Adrian and Aaron left here for kind of their fantasy scores. Sorry, that's Aiden. And so for him, like just looking at the game log, it's very interesting that the under is being favored here. Let's maybe take a peek as to why though. Wow. Heavy minutes the last 3 games. And so this is like clearly if that continues here, that's something I don't want to touch. So this is the first one where I'm like, all right, maybe the minutes projection hasn't caught up here for really Vegas and for the projection data. That's one where I'm staying away from. Then we got one more, Aaron Watson for over fantasy score. Sorry, wow, small screen there, guys. Anton Watson, got his name wrong there. Now he is someone that in the last game only played 20 minutes, but that is because that game was a blowout, and that's where it's important, I think, to look at this stuff, because if you were just pull up his game log here, you would see a bad game there. No. He would have got the over there. If that game stayed close going against Washington, you would hope that that game would be able to stay close enough for long enough. And then really against USC, that's the only other game where the under hit at a big rate over the past 4 games. But all in all, I don't think we're too worried about that. Heck, this game against USC, kind of a blowout as well. A little bit of a blowout here. So we're really hoping that this game isn't going to be a blowout. And really, let's take a peek at what ODDSJAM is predicting for this game. And so here we go. Gonzaga versus Washington, a 4-point spread. So we should be good to go there as well. Assuming that that game stays close, assuming that those minutes are there, that should be a good prop. So let's go ahead and get into the bet of the day. Looking at underdog, these are 2 of the bets that were pulled in from that EV only part of the underdog cheat sheet there. I'm fine with this one. This one is seemingly going to be a good bet for us. A little 2 slipper. And then guys, I'm actually perfectly fine with running out those 5 really good college basketball props that we had. Those should be fruitful for us. I'm definitely okay with that. And I already showed you guys kind of what we could be running out for NBA. But that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to give a like and subscribe. If you guys want access to the 9to5sports.com tools, they are available for just $10 a month. Thank you guys for watching. Let's have a good slate. And as always, let's keep cashing.